Good evening and welcome to the Thursday Camera Artists Guild Image Critique. And I am your host, George Deloach. I'm a portrait artist and photographer's coach. And this is where we help you to learn to master the photographic arts. I come from Los Angeles, California. Forgot to mention that. But really, getting back to mastering, and that just one point I wanted to drive home when it comes to mastering the photographic arts. It sounds simple, and we talked last week about the fundamentals of mastery, about tying your shoelaces, about mastery stacking, but I just want to drive that point home. It's one thing to take a photograph and every now and then get a good photograph, and that makes you feel good. I know when I first went to photo school, I went to Kent State University in photojournalism, and the first thing the professor taught us told us was that a monkey and enough film can make a Pulitzer Prize. So if you take enough images, every now and then you'll have a good one. But what makes you a really advanced amateur or a number one pro, semi or full-time pro, is being able to ace every one. Just about. Now, not every image is going to be perfect. There are going to be people turn their heads. There are going to be, blinks. There are going to be other stuff. But when it comes to the technical aspects of photography, that needs to be perfect each and every time and predictable to where you can predict what you're doing with that lighting and with that photograph. You control every aspect of that photograph. You control the color. You control the light balance. You control the composition. You control the lighting and lighting ratio between shadow and highlight, and lighting direction. Each one of those things has something to do with the components of the photograph. Let me pop this up and over to Photoshop. Here we go. First image is Anthony Robertson. I'm not sure whether you pronounce your name Robertson or Robertson. However, Anthony, this is a great image, but there's a couple of areas there that I want to point out to you. Now, I love the background, foreground, or background, midground, background subject separation. That small amount of light or fill that you're using back here in the back. This is the same general technique that Rembrandt used. I've used it all my career, and I love it. And what it does is it adds a third dimension to the image. Now you're dealing with a two-dimensional image. It's got height and it's got width, but it's got no depth. So depth is implied, and we imply depth through different compositional techniques. And this is one of them, where you put a small fade in there. You do have some of your kicker coming in here to the side. Maybe you could tune that up a little bit. It's not that important. The main thing is the light height. Now, your light height here is coming in just a little bit on the high side. And the reason why I'm saying it's on the high side is that you really don't see any catch lights in the eye. The eyes have gone blank, and it would really do. Now there's a bit of a catch light right there, but a catch light, I like to place that catch light just a little bit beneath the eyelid. Now I don't know whether you're using a grid or not. I think you are. But I would be using a grid system and then lower that light just a little bit. Now, another way to tell how high the light is and whether it works or not, besides the shadows under the eye, is this is basically what they call a butterfly lighting technique. And it's butterfly lighting because they call this shadow under the nose butterfly. If this tip of the butterfly, right down here, this tip here close to the lip, intersects the lip, comes in contact with the lip, it's just a little too high. The light is just a little too high. So lower it just a little bit, bring your shadow back along about there. That would fill in light into the eyes. and it would help you in your shadows under the eyes. Now, because you're applying black makeup to the eye, or the makeup artist or whoever applied the makeup applied a shadow underneath the eye, which makes the eye even darker, and it kind of it accentuates the eye and makes it almost bulge. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can work with that catch light, and I am going to see if I can't just demonstrate this really quick. Let's go. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to come over here and duplicate the layer, or get a blank layer. And I'm going to come up here to my brushes, and I'm going to look for one of these odd size brushes, something along in this general shape. I'm going to make sure my white is selected. I'm going to shrink the size of, let's see here, for some reason it's not shrinking the way it should. There we go. Okay. They're gonna give it to me now, yeah. There we go, let's take it. I have no idea why this is not. Well, ain't that a sweet kettle of fish? Okay, so we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. We'll drop it down here a little ways. Figure right about, maybe a little bit larger. In between those two. Right about there. Let's go up here to this portion of the eye, and let's just, okay, we're at 20% opacity. Let's just go to 50% and place that catch light right about there, and we're just gonna bump it up a little bit, and that helps out quite a little bit. I don't like that one right there, so I'm going to just Control Z, back it up a little bit, move this just a little bit higher. Okay, there we are there. That's good enough. Let's go to the pointer tool. Let's back it out just a little bit with the pointer tool, and let's just rotate it just a little bit there. Okay, and let's come in again, and we're going to go back off that layer and get rid of the lettering. Okay, there we go. We've just added a little catch light to each eye, which sparks the image quite a little bit. Now, I would have to play with it a little bit more. If it's a bit too bright, then all you'll need to do is come up here and there we go. Select that layer. Whoops. Select and go to your opacity slider. Slide it all the way down. They disappear. Let's bring it back up. Back up, back up, back up, right about there. There we go. We don't, and that gives you just the catch lights, and that pops that off. Now the circle under the eye, I think you could probably doll that up just a little bit. Let's add another layer. Let's convert that layer to overlay, and let's get another brush. But now we're gonna switch that. Now we got a brush tool, Control B. Well, I'll tell you, it's not behaving for me today. I don't know why my shortcuts aren't popping. We go to our brush tool. Let's go back to a soft edge brush. No. There we go. Soft edge round brush. There we are. Okay, and let's see, will it increase? It won't increase or it won't decrease. Well, I will be. Let's just raise it a little size wise. Yeah, about there. Let's put it an opacity of 10%. So we run in, boy, I'll tell you, it's really acting up on me today. For some reason, it's not cooperating. There we go. It's going 10%. We're at 10%. And we're white brush. We're soft edge brush. Enlarge this just a little bit. And you're just going to open this area up here. You're just going to paint that white in there a little bit, and that's going to cause that darker area to lighten up just a hair. And you want to come down here and maybe go around in there. That's too much. Control Z, move it back out. Okay, that should give you just a little bit on the eye. There's that and there's that. Now, the final thing would be to pop up the irises, and I will show you that at another time. I don't want to spend too much time on this one image, but this ought to give you an idea of some of the things that you can do to pick the image up. But if you lower that light source at the time of capture, it will make all the difference in the world. Okay, Rob, Tony, Anthony. Wow. Thanks, man. You're looking good. You do really good work, brother. I'm glad to see your stuff. Okay, Willie Demetrius Richardson. Looks like Baywatch up there. Interesting shot. The whole lifeguard shot, the Baywatch routine. You are adding some artificial light in there, and this is a difficult photograph to pull off because you are shooting up at someone. You can't get your light source high enough to really illuminate them the way they need to be illuminated. And you're at that time of day when the light is just beginning to fade away. But all in all, it's a good image. You are able to capture a mood and tell a narrative, and it's exposed properly. Skin tones look good, and we get the idea. So, very good. Tony Shaw, fabulous. Tony, this is really great. I love the way you're going. You have that Rembrandt-ish type of spot on the back, the separating the subject from the background. Your skin tones are just right on the money. Just beautiful skin tones. I like the lighting style that you were using. You may, and I'm just suggesting, you may want to add in a bit of a kicker. I would add one on both sides, but very, very, very light. You almost don't want to see it. You just want to raise the values of the light around here and let there be a little more sheen in the hair. If you could get away with it, because you've done such wonderful stuff with the light coming in the front. Now you're using clamshell lighting. This is one of my favorite light styles, and you have the light in the right position. Let me just enlarge this a little bit larger, and you'll see what I mean. If you look at the catch lights in the eye, you'll see that your catch light is just peeking out from underneath the upper eyelid, which is just right where it should be. And this butterfly is coming down and intersecting mid-lip. And so everything is exactly as it should be. Congratulations, Tony. This is a good image. Your color saturation is right on, and your contrast and skin tone. So well done. Okay, Lee McDonald. Interesting photograph. I really love rock violin. There's a group called Black Violin that's just, man, they're off the hook. They're really, really good. And this, I don't know whether he's a jazz violinist or whether he's rock or whether he's, where he is on the scale. But you're color coordinated. The violin and the man's shirt. I am a little bit apprehensive about the light direction. It's a little bit strong, and it's coming in directly from side light position. It's coming in directly from the side over here. Now, some of that's got to be done so that you can get light up underneath this brim of the hat. If you raise it too high, then you're going to have a terrible shadow over here on the face. I would actually try, if I could, to maneuver that light. It depends upon where it is in the ocean and how far away you are, whether you have somebody with you or not. But I would like to see the light moved a little farther out to the subject's left, making more of this area, putting more of this area in shadow as in short light. And I think that it would really spike it up just a little bit and add to the mood, because you want a more dramatic type of a mood when you're dealing with music. But all in all, it's well exposed, good color, nice. It's on the 1/3 compositional line. Very good. Okay, and Jerome Lynch. This is a really cool image, Jerome. I got to give it to you. Let me move my palettes out of the way. The reason why it's really cool is you got so much going on, but I'd like to work it even more. Now, you may have other images, but it would just, I think that with everybody here blowing bubbles rather than throwing the rice and everything, the faces, I would just like to back out a little bit. I mean, I understand where you're cropping for the bride and groom, and this is the main focal point. But I'd like to do one where we are telling a narrative, telling the story of the wedding goers, because when you're in the process of creating images for the wedding, what you're really doing is telling their story. You're telling their love story and recording the most important event in their life outside of the birth of their first child. And so you want to include all of these people are important to them. They know everybody, and they want to see everybody there when they're reminiscing about the wedding. So go ahead, nail this one up close, but then back it out. Hopefully you're using a zoom, 17 to 55, or would be fine, somewhere in that focal length, depending on whether you got Canon, Nikon, Sony, or even Fuji, I guess, is still out there. But just consider that adding a little bit more to the story. Your exposure is right on. You got them looking at each other, sharing the love. It's perfect, except for let's see a little bit more of the people here around joining in. Like this guy over here on camera right. They're just, it's more to be seen in the image. Okay. Very good. You may, as I mentioned earlier, take enough photographs that every now and then you get a good one. But if you want to be able to produce high quality work on demand, it only comes with practice and in the mastery of that particular aspect of photography. Enough said for this week. Thanks a lot, everybody, for being here. We'll see you again next week.